Transferring property you already own into a new entity for tax purposes became really unappealing in New Zealand for a while due to two key issues. First, the Bright Line test was extended to 10 years for existing properties, meaning if you sold a property into another entity, you've just reset that 10-year clock. This meant if you later decided that you needed or wanted to sell that property, you'd be liable for any tax on gains made since that transfer date. And while many people don't intend to sell their property, 10 years is a really long time. Just think about how much has changed in your life over the past decade. It's nearly impossible to predict what will happen in the next 10 years. The second issue was that we temporarily lost tax deductibility on existing properties in New Zealand. Moving a property to a new entity didn't actually provide any tax advantage anyway, so it just wasn't worth doing. So let me walk you through an example of why you might consider selling property into a new entity. Imagine you own a home that you've paid down over time, and then you decide you've got a growing family, you need to buy a larger family home, but you want to keep your existing property as a rental. It's a super common scenario. Let's say your soon-to-be rental property has only $200,000 of debt remaining, and you want to purchase a new home for $1 million with no cash, just debt. In this situation, you'd have $1 million of non-tax deductible debt on your new home, plus $200,000 of tax deductible debt on your rental. However, with some guidance from a good tax accountant and a lawyer, you could sell your existing property to a new entity, like a company or maybe a trust, at market value. And if that property is worth $700,000, you might be able to raise up to $700,000 of debt against it, depending on your bank. This would give you $700,000 of tax deductible debt, allowing you to deduct interest expenses from rental income for tax benefits, and then you'd only have $500,000 of non-deductible debt on your own home. So all you've done, you've got the same amount of debt, is create a more tax efficient structure. In New Zealand, you can't use property tax losses in the new company to offset your salary or wage tax bill. That hasn't been possible for quite a long time now. But what you're doing is creating a tax loss on that entity. So when it starts generating profits in the future, as rent increases and debt decreases, you won't pay tax on that income for quite a while because you've got accumulated losses to offset it. I should note, I do have an accounting background. I'm not practicing as a tax accountant. This is just general advice. Make sure you have a chat to your accountant and lawyer before making any decisions on this.